Sourcing is a feature of the PartsWatch system that allows a store to see what stock is available at other stores within the company or at third-party sources, and order that stock to fulfill a customer need using only a few clicks. There are two types of customer sourcing in the PartsWatch system: quick sourcing and advanced sourcing. This video discusses how to use advanced sourcing to source multiple parts that were entered on a quick quote. When a user enters a sell quantity greater than the quantity available in the current store and presses enter, the insufficient quantity screen or quick sourcing screen will display. This screen shows the stock available at various locations or outside sources that have been set up in the Controls Store Source Setup screen. It's a very quick way of sourcing, but only allows one part to be sourced at a time. If the user needs to source more than one part, perhaps from more than one location, that's where advanced sourcing comes in. Currently, I can see on the quick sourcing screen that this part number 2086 is available in sufficient quantities at various locations: ABC Jackson, ABC Sparta, and so on. But say I also want to order another part. What I can do here is click Source Later. I'm not going to choose a source for this part yet. Now I'm going to enter another part, 2087. This part has a quantity on hand of 0, but again, I want 4. At this point, if I know this is the last part I'm looking for, I can click Source It. If I was going to source more parts, I could hit Enter and again select Source Later from the quick sourcing pop-up. But let's just go ahead and click Source It, and this will bring us into the advanced sourcing screen. At the top of my sourcing screen, all part numbers from the invoice are listed for reference, unless an option is enabled to only show sourced parts. This section of the screen shows me my sell quantity, how many I've sold from the shelf, how many I've sourced so far, and how many more I need to source. In the center of the screen, all sourced parts will be listed along with the quantity that needs to be sourced, in this case 4 of each. Under Preferred Sources are the first 6 sources I've set up in my Source Setup screen. These could be company-owned distribution centers or hubs, sister stores, or even third-party sources. Each source will show its available quantity. If connection to the source is not working or set up, the word call would display instead of the quantity, and then I would have to call the source to find out whether they have the part available, but I would still be able to go through the sourcing process for that part. Each source also provides an order column where I can enter the quantity I want to order from that source. I need 4 of each of these parts, so let's look at our sources. I can quickly see that only 2 sources have enough of both parts. That would be my third source here. I have 5 available of my first part and 6 of my second part. And my fourth source here, I have 4 available of the first part and 9 available of the second part. If I click in the grid under each source, I can see the prices from that source for each part. It looks like these 2 sources have the same prices for the parts. For this part, they're both costed at $1.37, and for this part, both sources are costing at $1.29. So since the prices are the same and the store manager typically sets up sources in the preferred order, I'll go ahead and choose my third source. All I need to do is enter my order quantity under the column for that source, and then click to Invoice screen. And on the invoice screen, we can see that both parts are on here with my buy outside modifier. And over to the right, we can see it's got a number under sourcing PO. This is kind of just a placeholder at this point because I haven't actually generated my PO. And then if I scroll over to the right, we can see it's showing me the vendor under which that PO will be created. My next step would be to click Finish. When I click Finish, it'll ask me, are you sure you want to create a sourced or an order for sourced items? When I click yes, the system will generate a purchase order in my store and transmit it to the vendor. If I'm ordering from a sister store, it'll also create a sales order in that store. So we can see that when sourcing 2 or more items, the advanced sourcing screen is the way to go.